with no savings, you skating on thin ice. Thin ice. Okay, what's up, guys? Back at it again with another one. This is gonna be my do's and don'ts for my first apartment at 18. Okay, and I am now 22 and in a house. So it's gonna be like a real like nitty gritty, like even after moving out of the apartment, what I feel like I should have done to help, the transition to moving into a house. But the first thing we're gonna start off with is the don'ts, because that's gonna be more important. I mean, not more important, but don't do it. Okay? Heavy on the don't. So, first things first, don't get an apartment outside of your budget. And that's going to be really, really tea, because I know like y'all want the luxury apartment and yeah, it's giving, yes, like soft girl era, like, yeah, no. If it's above your means, don't get it. If you feel like you have to get like a family member to co-sign to supplement your income, like let's say your income is just a little below, you don't quite meet it, and your guardian or your family member is willing to co-sign with you for you to be able to qualify, just don't, I feel like don't do it. Why? Because that's a common mistake that is made, because the reason of the 3 times the rent is so you can be comfortable. Next will be, I don't recommend living on the higher floors, like, especially without no elevator. Like, when you're moving in furniture, think about it. You're on a 3rd floor. That's 3 flights of stairs. You got about 40, 50 pound nightstand. Just imagine how much that bed is. No, ma'am. Even though I didn't have to move it, I felt like it's hard to watch somebody else move it. You know what I'm saying? And then most of the time, by the time you reach the 3rd floor, your furniture is bang up. I mean, it's heavy. You're already on the 3rd floor. It's hard to carry. The stairs ain't that, you know what I'm saying? So like, your furniture is getting banged up. So it's losing value. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what really is the purpose there? And especially, move-in day was something, but move out day, girl, it was to the point where it was like, just throw the furniture over the balcony. We'll just get new furniture at the new house. Next thing is, for your first apartment, I don't recommend no shady landlords. I done seen enough horror stories where these people getting kicked out for no reason, and it's justified because the contract and the lease has these back-ended. Listen, I don't recommend it. For your first apartment, don't mess up your rental history. You don't want no unneeded evictions. You know what I'm saying? And you're 18. You don't know, like, what it is, what it ain't. You know what I'm saying? The things, what's really supposed to be covered under the landlord-tenant agreement. You know what I'm saying? Like, really getting into the nitty-gritty of what's supposed to be done. So, like, I don't recommend, messing up your rental history for that, because this rental history, they are very strict. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you want to rent a house and stuff like this. They're looking at your on-time payments. You don't want no shady landlord reporting that you making these payments late, or, they putting in the payment late because they didn't get time to do it this day or that day. Don't let them play with you. Ain't even no need to put yourself in that situation. You're 18. You don't need that extra stress. You already trying to get your life on track, okay, to be a millionaire. That's the goal. To be successful. I mean, what's really tea? Don't sign that lease until you view that apartment. And this was one of like my things, because I was like, I'm just happy for the opportunity. I'm 18. They approved me on my 18th birthday type stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have no credit. I didn't have no rental history. None of that. So, like, you know, I'm just happy that they approved me. Like, yes. And it was for the apartment I wanted. It was given, like, big kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just, yes, like, soft girl life. You know what I'm saying? Get cameras in your apartment. Because example A, which does happen very often, when you're making maintenance requests, these maintenance people, they can come into your apartment. They do have keys. So at the end of the day, you can make this maintenance request and you're at work and, you know, he letting himself in and, you know, you got prized possessions. You want to know what he doing in there. You know, get cameras. Yes, don't play. You don't know what these people is out here doing these days. Listen. Next, what I recommend, put that rent on auto pay, honey. That's all I'm going to say is put that rent on auto pay, because that is one bill that needs to be paid on time. I don't care what you do. Pay that rent on time. For one, you don't want the late fee. But for two, these houses, like let's say you want to rent a house, these places that's looking at your rental history, you need to be paying that on time. Them late payments, oh my gosh, they look bad. They look real bad. They're just as bad as late car payments. And you trying to get another guy. Okay, like, especially, I feel like you should get a savings account. That's another one. Save your money, because, honey, you don't know what these rainy days could cause. Save your money. When you're living on your own for the first time, you need an emergency savings, especially if there is nobody that you can call to get a quick 200, 500, even a rack. Okay? If you can't call nobody to get that kind of money like this, you need emergency savings. And I'm not playing. I'm not playing. That's going to save you so much of a headache. You don't even understand how much stuff you go through when you're living on your own for the first time. With no savings, you skating on thin ice. Thin ice. You hear me? Don't even do that, y'all. That made my life so much more stressful. I'm just now starting to understand that if you don't have somebody that you can call for that kind of money, you need an emergency savings, because stuff like that happens where you need that kind of money. Where you gonna get it from? And you don't need to run your credit and get a loan. Let me just say that right now. Don't get not near a loan. Don't get not near credit card, large amount. Don't get not near none. Okay? All right, now I'm being 100 on that. Don't get that. Because you've been done screw your credit up so bad and now you can't afford your bills because you don't get all these loans. They charging these interest, knocking your head off. I mean, these loan companies charging interest like twice to what you got. You got a $500 loan. How you paying back $2,000? No. I'm going to tell you that right now. No, sir. You need an emergency savings, because I'm telling you, I'm cutting out a lot of headache from having to go and run and try to get, a little quick payday loan. I'm telling you. Because that's where it all go downhill, when you got to go and get, a little quick payday loan to do this. And then you go, oh, yeah, I'm going to pay them back. But you didn't see how much you're going to have to pay them back. So now your monthly payment is an extra $200 or something. Baby, that's a car note. And last but not least, I do recommend that you get a calendar or agenda to write down your bill due dates. Like, little subscriptions. You have to filter all that in when you're budgeting for the month. Make sure you do this, because you need to make sure all your bills are paid on time. You don't need nothing to go to collections. You hear me? You don't need nothing to cut off either. Because Lord knows, one thing they don't tell you, those house expenses, I'm not joking. Baby, way more expensive than an apartment. I think it was, my bills went up 2 times what I was paying in an apartment. Two times. Probably done 3 now. I got a baby. And listen, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm trying to prepare y'all for the future. We got to be here. I wasn't there. I was down here. I was down here on this side. I wasn't here. I was down there. And it took me this long to try to get back on track, y'all. It's crazy. I'm gonna do a video and tell y'all about my first house experience at what? 21. Listen, I'm trying to put y'all on game.